Be prepared, because love is about to break every rule you thought it followed, and you will feel the consequences sooner than you think. Soon, Venus will slip into Aquarius, and when this energy peaks, it's going to hit us in a way we haven't felt in years. This isn't soft, gentle romance. This is a love revolution, the kind that rewires how you connect, who you connect with, and why you even feel drawn to someone in the first place. And trust me, because this shift isn't just about relationships, this will affect everyone. Something big is coming, and most people won't realize what's happening until it's already reshaped their entire emotional world. As Venus enters Aquarius, the shift doesn't stay inside your personal orbit. It spreads across humanity like a pulse. Suddenly, love stops being just a private experience and becomes a collective movement. People start caring differently, thinking differently, choosing differently. You might notice a rise in compassion, people uniting around shared values, conversations about what real connection looks like, and a pull toward communities, missions, and ideals that feel bigger than any one relationship. Because Aquarius doesn't just upgrade your heart, it upgrades the heart of the world. But here's the twist. This collective upgrade comes with a consequence no one is talking about, and once it starts, it changes the entire tone of this transit. There's something different in the air as Venus moves into Aquarius, something that completely shifts how solitude feels. For once, being alone doesn't feel empty or isolating. It feels powerful. It feels intentional. It feels like your energy is finally speaking for you instead of your relationship status. During this transit, people who are single, grounded, and genuinely at peace with themselves begin to radiate a kind of quiet magnetism that others can't help but notice. Aquarius energy always amplifies authenticity, and when you aren't chasing anyone, performing for anyone, or bending yourself to fit someone's expectations, that authenticity becomes incredibly attractive. Nothing pulls people in faster than someone who doesn't need to be pulled. You may notice people paying more attention to you, reaching out unexpectedly, or gravitating toward your presence without you trying to do anything at all. That's because solitude under this transit doesn't read as alone. It reads as aligned. It shows that you trust your timing, your worth, and your own frequency enough not to force connections that aren't meant for you. Self-love stops being a cute slogan and becomes a signal, a broadcast. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady and unmistakable. And when that signal is clean, it naturally attracts people who resonate with it. The more at peace you are with yourself, the more impossible it becomes for the wrong people to enter your life. And that's exactly why this period of solitude, whether you expected it or not, is setting the stage for something far more meaningful than the patterns you may have settled for in the past. Because what's coming next doesn't just match your energy, it elevates it. This Venus shift isn't here to push you into loneliness. It's here to reveal a higher version of love that you may not have been ready to receive before. Aquarius clears the noise. It clears the pressure. It clears the outdated expectations you were carrying from your past, your upbringing, or your old relationships. And in that clarity, something new rises, something honest. For anyone who has felt like love hasn't worked out, hasn't stayed, or hasn't looked the way they hoped, this transit brings a powerful realization. Maybe it wasn't supposed to, not because you were unworthy, but because the love you were expecting was too small for the person you're becoming. The universe never withholds love. It withholds what would have distracted you from the love you actually deserve. Venus in Aquarius invites a love that respects your individuality, your vision, your independence, and your truth. This isn't the familiar pattern you've repeated for years. This isn't the safe, predictable, half-alive version of connection that kept you comfortable but not fulfilled. This is a love that challenges you to grow, inspires you to think bigger, and mirrors the person you're stepping into, not the person you used to be. And the beauty of it? This love doesn't only show up romantically, it can appear as the right people entering your life, the right community forming around you, or the sudden realization that you're finally treating yourself the way you always wished someone else would. The love coming toward you is different, brighter, cleaner, realer. And it won't feel familiar because it's not meant to. It will feel right, because this time it's true. As Venus prepares to enter Aquarius, there's this undeniable shift happening inside people, a kind of inner voltage that doesn't come with softness or sentimentality, but with sharp, emotional clarity. It's like a spotlight suddenly turns on inside you, revealing what has been draining you, what has been inspiring you, and what you've been quietly starving for without noticing. Aquarius doesn't bring warm, fuzzy self-love. It brings awake self-love, the kind that makes you rethink your habits, your choices, and even your identity. Many people will feel a sudden urge to reinvent themselves, not because they're unhappy with who they are, but because something inside is finally ready to expand. New style, new routines, new boundaries, new ways of showing up. It all feels natural, even overdue. Others may feel a burst of independence, like they've been holding their breath for years, and only now realize what it feels like to inhale real oxygen again. You might find yourself wanting to reconnect with parts of yourself you forgot existed, old passions you abandoned, dreams you postponed, confidence you misplaced along the way. Aquarius brings them all back because it wants you to operate from your wholeness, not from the fragments people have taken or the versions of you that were shaped by expectations. This is where self-love becomes electric. It isn't about journaling or bubble baths or repeating affirmations. It's about energy. It's about the frequency you carry when you stop apologizing for wanting more. It's about the posture you hold when you finally trust your worth without needing anyone to confirm it. Self-love hits different when it stops being soft and becomes undeniable. Venus in Aquarius is like a self-respect upgrade that snaps you out of old emotional autopilot. It pushes you toward choices that match your future, not the outdated story you've been dragging behind you. And what makes this so powerful is that the changes you make now don't feel forced. They feel like alignment, like your life is catching up to the person you were always meant to be. This isn't a glow-up, it's a wake-up. And once this energy settles in, the way you approach love and what you're willing to accept will never be the same. As Venus enters Aquarius, relationships begin to behave differently. The energy becomes sharper, freer, and far more honest than what most people are used to. Aquarius is the sign that looks at tradition and says, "Okay, but why?" And that question alone is enough to unravel years of routine, expectation, and unspoken rules that people have been living under without even realizing it. This transit brings a rebellious kind of love, not chaotic or reckless, but liberating. It encourages you to question everything you've been taught about how relationships should work. Why do you communicate the way you do? Why do you tolerate certain things? Why do you follow patterns that don't match who you are anymore? Rebellion isn't about breaking love, it's about breaking what keeps love small. People in relationships might suddenly feel the need for more breathing room, more authenticity, or a shift in the routine that's been silently draining them. They may ask for new boundaries, new dynamics, or more individuality inside the partnership, not because anything is wrong, but because the relationship is being invited to evolve. Single people may feel the opposite of desperation. Instead of chasing validation, they start falling in love with their own freedom. They realize they don't want someone just to have someone. They want someone who aligns with their vision, their values, and their future. And ironically, it's when people stop chasing that they become more magnetic. Aquarius energy makes space irresistible, confidence attractive, and independence captivating. What's happening here is bigger than romance. This transit exposes any part of your love life that was running on old programming. It pushes you to choose from empowerment instead of fear, from self-awareness instead of habit. It forces you to realize that love doesn't have to look like the script you were handed. It can look like the truth you're finally ready to live. And the moment you accept that, something shifts. You stop trying to make love fit into the past, and you start allowing it to meet you in the future. This is where romance meets rebellion, and where your real love story begins. One of the defining signatures of Venus in Aquarius is how quickly things shift. This energy is fast, electric, unapologetically direct, and it brings changes that feel almost instantaneous. People enter your life like lightning, bright, unexpected, impossible to ignore. And just as quickly, some people vanish without warning. Aquarius doesn't move slowly or gently, it moves truthfully. And truth rarely waits for permission. During this transit, some viewers may experience what feels like instant soul recognition. You meet someone, and there's no awkward getting to know you phase. It's as if your energy remembers them before your mind does. Conversations flow effortlessly, synchronicities show up immediately, and the connection feels strangely familiar and strangely significant. These encounters don't follow logic, they follow alignment. They show up to accelerate something, awaken something, or reroute your path entirely. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Aquarius also brings sudden endings that feel abrupt but purposeful. People might ghost, drift, or distance themselves without giving you a clear explanation. And even though it stings, it becomes obvious that the shift is not personal, it's energetic. This transit removes anything that delays your growth or limits your capacity for genuine love. When someone leaves fast, it's usually because the universe needs your heart available for something bigger. This period is meant to feel chaotic, but not in a destructive way, in a cleansing way. Venus in Aquarius is like a cosmic filter that separates what is meant for your future from what belongs to your past. Connections that are aligned become stronger almost overnight. Connections that aren't aligned dissolve just as quickly. You are not meant to hold on to what is trying to evolve out of your life, nor resist what's trying to enter it. Aquarius energy doesn't follow the rules of timing, pacing, or predictability. It follows the rules of truth, alignment, and karmic acceleration. So if the next few days feel like your love life is running on fast forward, that's exactly what's happening. The universe is moving pieces around at high speed, making sure nothing blocks the love story you're actually meant to live. This is liberation disguised as chaos, and the clarity that follows is worth every unexpected twist. Venus in Aquarius brings a message that flips the entire idea of love manifestation on its head. This is not a transit that rewards vision boards, hoping, wishing, or waiting for someone to appear. Aquarius isn't interested in fantasies. It's interested in frequency. And that means the most powerful thing you can do right now isn't calling love in, it's becoming the person who naturally attracts the love you've always wanted. This is where most people misunderstand manifestation. They think it's about asking, they think it's about wanting, but wanting something only confirms that you don't have it. Chasing something confirms it's running away. Aquarius wants you to operate from a completely different stance, one where love isn't something you request, but something you embody. You don't manifest love by longing for it, you manifest it by living like you already deserve it. This transit makes you realize that the energy you carry is the real magnet, not your words, not your rituals, not your affirmations, your energy. The way you speak to yourself when no one is listening. The boundaries you choose, not out of fear, but out of self-worth. The hobbies, passions, and lifestyle choices that reflect your individuality. All of these things form the foundation of your aura, and your aura is what decides who enters your life. When you live like love is already part of your identity, meaning you treat yourself with the same devotion you expect from others, something powerful begins to happen. You stop moving from lack and start moving from fullness. You stop settling for crumbs because you finally understand you were never meant to survive on crumbs in the first place. You stop placing your happiness on hold for a connection that hasn't arrived yet, because you've already created a life that feels like love, even on your own. Under Venus in Aquarius, this becomes a superpower. The more you invest in your own evolution, the more magnetic you become. Not because you're trying to attract someone, but because you're radiating a frequency that naturally calls in people who align with your self-respect, your individuality, your dreams, and your energy. If you're still watching, I genuinely want to thank you. I really appreciate your attention. As this energy unfolds, try to give yourself permission to move at your own rhythm. You don't need to rush love, define it, or control it. You don't need to make dramatic choices or overthink your next step. Just let your heart settle into who you're becoming. The rest will align with that. And no matter what the next few days bring, hold on to this. There is something beautiful forming in your life, even if you can't see it yet. Let it come in its own time, and let yourself believe that something good is on its way.